if you're going to be an entrepreneur and if you're going to give it your all, many times you will wake up feeling the blues. You will ask yourself, why is this thing not working?
You start to understand why people say you have to fall in love with the journey to be able to be an entrepreneur. Like, if all you're thinking about is the goal, you're going to get burnout.
Dude, no way. It doesn't exist in entrepreneurship. With each passing day, it gets bigger and it just keeps growing.
In all of this, you are still trying to understand to kind of like, how did you even balance it, honestly, man?
There's no balance. Work-life balance is it.
Welcome back to Unfiltered with Poch, people, where I explore what it means to be an immigrant entrepreneur. Today, I'm talking with Kingsley Madu, who runs Expedier. And you know why I find his business interesting is because part of what he does is he helps you use your rental history to improve your credit score, which I find very interesting because that would be a good improvement on credit score. But also, this is 1 year of running your business, right?
Full time.
Full time. How does it feel? Like, do you feel like, I'm on the journey? I mean, I saw your pictures of you at Web Summit and stuff. So I've been seeing you around on LinkedIn. I'm like, oh, this dude is moving. Like, how does it feel 1 year after? Like, do you feel like the journey's still long, or do you feel like, gosh, I feel like I'm moving in the right direction? How do you feel?
Okay, so first off, you've asked the questions in that, but yes, I definitely feel like I'm moving in the right direction for real and for sure. But then you said, is this journey still long or is it closer? The funny thing with entrepreneurship is that with each passing day, the journey gets longer, not shorter.
Explain that.
And that is where most would-be entrepreneurs miss it.
Interesting.
Okay, so take Amazon, for example, right? When Jeff Bezos was starting Amazon in the early 1995s, 1996, he just wanted to sell books online.
I see what you mean.
Today, Amazon sells the whole world, right? Amazon does AWS.
Yeah.
Amazon does products, Alexa and Co, AI, Echo, tablets. Do you think the guy is getting nearer to where it's going to stop? So with each passing day, you are further away from the end goal.
Yeah.
Yes. With each passing day, it gets bigger and it just keeps growing. So that's the whole idea that I will hit that sweet spot where I will land and all is rosy going forward. And dude, no way. It doesn't exist in entrepreneurship. And these are hard truths I had to come to terms with after the first year of Expedier. I sounded like, oh,
this journey is long.
This journey is long, and it's getting longer by the day. What is really happening? I thought it should be getting shorter. It's getting longer.
I feel you, honestly.
So yes, it gets longer by the day. It doesn't get shorter.
Yeah,
Most people don't want to hear that.
Yeah, that's a no. I think like it's a reality. When you put it that way, I understand, because it's a reality that I came to with the newcomers. I started the newcomers as a podcast first, and then I mean now we're on Unfiltered with Poch, which is the second podcast. We do articles, we do stuff, we shoot docu stories at times. When I started, all I wanted to do was I wanted to understand what it means to be an immigrant. That's all I wanted to do, But here I am. I'm talking to you. You're an immigrant entrepreneur. Who knows? Tomorrow I might start a cultural podcast on immigration. Who knows? But the point is that, like you said, there's, I think when you start to understand why people say you have to fall in love with the journey.
Correct.
To be able to be an entrepreneur. Like, if all you're thinking about is the goal, you're going to get burnout, because that goal just keeps changing.
Yes. And I'm glad I came to that realization, because that is the one thing that helps me cope. Because I tell you, many times, more often than not, you will wake up every morning saying to yourself, what the heck am I doing? Like, why? So just to make you laugh, lately I was saying to my wife, I said, if there's an afterlife, or like if there's another life after this life, now they say your next life.
Yeah.
I said, in my next life, I will still want to do life with you, right? Like, you will still be my wife. But I said, but remind me that I told you in this life to remind me not to do entrepreneur in my next life. Like, if you ever see me trying to go in that direction, but don't draw me back and say, okay, in our previous life, you told me to remind you, so let me remind you now, not to remind you. I don't want to try.
but I'm just and I like and I think I know the answer to this, but I'll still ask it anyway. Which
Yeah,
is, you moved here about 5 6 years ago,
correct.
and so do you think that question is that thing is a function of the mix of trying to settle into the new country and then trying to build a business at the same time? Because you said to me in the pre-show that you launched your business the same year you landed, which I think is wild, honestly.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, I mean, you're a brave man, honestly. Do you think it's a function of that? Like, if you are back in Nigeria or your home country, or you're in your comfort zone and you launched a business, do you think you still say that thing of where you say to your wife that in the next life she should remind you not to do entrepreneurship? Just thinking about your state of mind and all that, because
Correct.
when you're an immigrant and then you're an entrepreneur, you're literally trying to do two mad things at the same time.
True.
So what do you think? You think it's a function of that?
So, um, when I say don't remind me to be an entrepreneur in my next life, it's just my way of psychologically managing myself and my
Okay,
expectations of myself, right?
interesting.
Because I believe that being an entrepreneur is in the DNA. Some of us were just wired to be abnormal. That's the way I put it. I mean, entrepreneurship essentially is sleeping dog is lying. You say sleeping dog don't lie. I need you to stand up now. Like, dude, leave the sleeping dog alone. Let the sleeping dog lie, right? That's entrepreneurship. So I tell you, I said many of us are wired wrongly. Me, I said when I reach heaven, I'll ask God, please show me the knot that you removed that you didn't add. Like I need to see it. Like, so I think it's integral to our DNA, right? But
Oh
yes, I
gosh.
hear you. So if you're going to be an entrepreneur and if you're going to give it your all, many times you will wake up feeling the blues. You will ask yourself, why is this thing not working the way you expected it to work? Right? I mean, heck, this morning when I woke up, I felt, oh God, we've not hit this milestone. We've not hit this. And that gloomy, bluey thing wanted to come. And I reminded myself of all the other great milestones we've achieved this same year. I said, nah, we're on track. Let's go. So
Yeah.
when you give something your all, it feels that way. It's like a pregnant woman, right? Ah, his left hand, next day his right hand. There's pain here, but right. So it's the same way I look at it. Yeah. Irrespective, I think what makes the difference is that you give it your all versus you don't give it your all. Right. When you give it your all, you would definitely feel that way because there's nothing you are going back to. Right. And for me, I don't have a backup plan. So I tell people this is it. This is it. I don't have a backup plan. I don't I burnt that bridge. So it's either this works or it works. And
Right. Like,
yeah,
it works. Either it works or it works. There's
or it works.
no.
Nah. This is it. Like this is it. This is it. So
I feel you. I
yeah,
feel you.
yeah.
So wait. So this is 1 year in, but you've been doing this since 2020.
Correct.
You said something I found really interesting, which is you are doing three jobs. One full-time job, two part-time jobs to kind of keep building the business.
Correct.
Wait. So let me just try and put this into context. You moved to Canada. You're trying to settle into a new country. You moved with your wife, right? So that means you have to be a husband too. Do you have kids?
Two children. Yep. I have to be
You
a
have to
father.
be a father, you know, and then you had work, three different jobs in different capacities, and then you have to build Expedia.
Yep.
Can I see your hair? How many?
I know, right? He's a madman. He's a madhouse. Yeah.
I had to ask, man. Like, I
I
had to
know,
ask.
right? He's a
Well, I had to
madhouse.
ask. Like, what are you talking? Like, what, dude?
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you cope? Sorry, like, how did you cope?
I'm not sure I coped. I'll be honest with you because and one day I'll share this online on LinkedIn. February last year, I ended up in the hospital, like ER, like, and that was because between 2020 and 2024, it's still mostly happening, but it's reduced. I lived off of 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night. That was all I could get, right? That was all I could get. And I did that for about 5 years, and my health took a toll. Like, it hit me bad. I found myself in ER, and the medical team did all their, they ran all their tests. The guy looked at me and said, Chief, you're not really sick. What kind of work do you do? That's the question he asked me. What do you do for a living? You're you stretched and burnt out. Like, you don't even know how you are still working. You're not sick per se. I can't pinpoint any illness, but I can tell from your vitals that you are extremely burnt out. What do you do for a living? I could not answer that question, but I just said, okay, can I go now? He discharged me. I mean, I still was some monitors for like a few months, monitoring my vitals just to be sure that, right? But at that point, I knew that, okay, something else has to give. And so I began to make a plan. That was February. I began to make plans. And then by June, I had quit all those other jobs so that I can focus exclusively on Expedia, right? But for 5 years, I did three jobs. I had a major 9 to 5. And then I was also lecturing at a school. So I would lecture between 6 to sometimes 10 p.m. So after I close by 5, I go and do this other one. And then sometimes from 11 to 2, I go to my next job and then return back home, sleep, get up by, like, if the days you sleep, get up by 6. And it was just a roller coaster, right? And you just have to do what, I just had to do what I had to do to keep Expedia going, because one, we didn't have the funds to hire a team or to even build out the tech, right? So it was just between me and my co-founder Michael, and between the two of us, we had to just show that everything. So yeah, I had to do three jobs to pay the bills, to pay the expenses for Expedia, to keep Expedia running, and to keep our clients happy. In fact, let me make you laugh. For the first 3 years, I was the customer care on Expedia. And many of our users to date never knew that person did. In fact, many of my friends, like my close friends, never knew it was still me that was answering their calls and replying their messages.
Were you changing your voice when you talk to them? You
Yep,
know, like
yep, 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 yep.
Kingsley.
Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to Expedia. My name is David and I'm happy to be speaking with you today. Tell me, how can I help you? I did that.
Man, you are something.
Yeah.
This has to work. Like this has to work, or it
Baba,
has to work.
Baba, you know, get ocean.
I
I've told it. Me,
agree.
I've told it. I've told SPDA. I've told SPDA. Like, it's either you walk or you walk. What else? What else is remaining? Like, I paid the price, so it's gotta work.
How did you manage your family all that time?
So two things. Number one, God really blessed me with a most amazing and understanding wife. I'm gonna say that, like, straight up from the bat. She's just she's just the rock star in this story. That's the honest truth,
I
right?
swear she is, honestly.
She's the
She
rock
is.
star in this story. That's just the honest truth. She's the rock star in this story. And then some other thing I also did was, and I would say this with an example, the typical example. So I was over at Web Summit, right?
Yeah.
So I was at the event. I was meeting up with some folks, other entrepreneurs, other guys, right?
Yeah.
And then one of them noticed that my earpiece had been on my ear, and it seemed that I was talking to somebody else while I was still talking to them. I'm like, are you on a call? Like that, you've been on the call for like 2 hours. I said, yes, that I'm actually on the call with my family. I'm like, huh? What is that? As I brought up my phone and I showed. I said, that is how I keep them in the loop. As I've been going around Web Summit, they've been on the call with me. I carry them along. So that phone is there around the clock. Any of them will go, they return back. This thing is still on. Hey, daddy, I need this. Hey, you, I need. We'll continue the conversation as I'm talking to you. I'll say, okay, please, 1 minute. Hey, you, okay, let's do it. Okay. And then I come back. And so I had to find ingenious or creative ways to balance family life, right? At the same time while building Expedia. You just have to, don't get me wrong, it's crazy, it's mad, but sometimes It's the sacrifice for the kind of impact you're looking for. I'm sorry, that was a mouthful. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
What
Oh my God.
the hell?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What's it like now? So, how old are your kids?
I've got a 12-year-old and a soon to be 7.
What's it like now that you're now fully experienced? It's just one thing. Is it still the same madness, or like it's still just reduced?
It's still similarly the same madness, right? Because now that I have, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like I was not full time on Expedia all those other years, just that I still had other things going, right?
Yeah,
So now that I don't have those other things going, it's allowed me more time, quote unquote, to put into Expedia. It's the reason why I can travel. Just as you said, this guy's been on the move in
yeah,
the last 6 weeks. I've been on almost 10 flights, right? So you take that time from those other jobs, and then you put it to get more results even in Expedia,
yeah,
right? So it's still pretty much the same thing, right? It's still pretty much the same madness, but it's not as intense as it was
yeah,
before, right? Yeah, but it's still pretty much the same madness, and I still have to do what I have to do. For example, the kids every morning I must take them to school. Must. That one is on me. I must take them to school. I may not be the one to bring them back from home, but I try to always bring them back from school home. But you see that morning one, I must do that, right? It's in those small moments that you find that time to bond and make real connections that really matters, right? Because sometimes what they really need to know, they can understand that you're doing what you need to do, but in all of that, do you still value them? Do you still prioritize them, right? And sometimes it's in those little things that really make it count for them. So, despite all of this, he still makes that time to do this little one or this. And I don't. There are some family rituals, quote unquote, that I cannot mess with. No matter what, that one is standard. I can't mess with that. Yeah,
bro. All the questions in my head have run off because I'm just.
I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay. It's just run off because I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo,
yeah,
you are something.
yeah.
You know, so in all of this, you are still trying to understand into kind of like how did you even balance it? Honestly, man, like how did you balance it?
I don't.
Because
You can't
because
balance it, bro. There's no balance. There's no balance. See, and I don't mean to gainsay well-read professors who have studied and done research and all of that. But what I tell myself first, and what I tell whoever listens to me is that work-life balance is a myth. Do you know why? I'll use an example. Kids never seem to be tired of wanting to play. Why?
okay, why? I don't know what the answer is. Why?
Because play is fun, right? They are not asking for balance from fun. They want to have fun all day long, right? So they're not asking for balance from fun. You're asking for balance or break from what is stressing you, not what you're having fun doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
In
does.
all of this that I've said, I'm having the fun of my life in SPD. I'm enjoying every moment of it. I'm having the fun of my life. So if I'm having fun, why am I looking for break or balance?
Because of family.
The family is part of the fun.
Welfare.
Yes, I'm carrying them along. They're part of the fun. They're part of me. I don't segregate my life. Family left, this one. It's all one coherent ecosystem for me, right? So they're all part of it. It's an integral system. And when I look at it from that perspective, then it's fun. And if it's fun, why am I asking for break for what is fun? Then I want to do it all day long, right? Like yesterday night, between 8 and 10 p.m. I was working on Excel. I was doing a few things, and I asked my girl, my 12-year-old, to come and sit with me in the office. right? So she sat beside me. She was reading her book, right? And then I was doing my stuff. And then when I was done, I looked and said, okay, what movie should we watch? So we just picked a short one, half an hour, and we watched it together. And then she went off to bed. It's an ecosystem, it's integral. I don't fragment it. And that's the magic that has worked for me, right? I don't fragment it. It's all part of it. And they too are enjoying it, right? Because by seeing me, by being around me, they are understanding the value of work.
Yeah.
They are seeing that vision of what they want to be in the future. I'm inspiring them, right? And they are not hating me because they can understand it. They are in it, right? And they're also seeing the reward as well. I don't know if you understand. They're seeing the benefit. Let's not like I see the benefit. So, oh yeah, they're seeing the benefit, right? So it's a win-win for everybody at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's kind of skid over to, you know, what it, the resourcing side of being an entrepreneur. And I just want to talk a bit about, you mentioned something about you had to, something about funds, and that's why you had to kind of do all that work. And I'm just curious, at no point did you try to raise, did you try to get a grant, like did you try to get all those things, or was it just like, I'm going to do this myself and I'm going to find the money myself?
So we tried to raise early on from day one. Okay. I remember the version 0.000 of Expedia, like the very first version, which by the way was a Google form, eh?
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. It was a Google form. Today we have an app, but it was a Google form. We started Expedia on a Google form. Okay. It went live first week in December 2020. And then January 2021, I was already pitching to investors. In fact, a few days ago, I ran into that pitch deck. I'm like, oh my God, the nostalgic feeling. I'm like, what? Did I do this? Right? So, but yes, I was early on starting to pitch out to say, look, this thing is going to work. I need you all to, let's do this together. Let's invest and all of that, right? And I pretty much spent 2021 doing that. And by late 2021, I realized that, bro, nobody's going to give you money. Not at this stage. I realized some very hard truths about investors and investments. Except it's for your mother or your father, nobody's going to invest in you because they like you or even because they like what you're building. No. They're going to invest in you because you can make them more money. Bottom line. If you can't make them more money, if you can't convince them, forget it. So when I realized that, I had two options. I said option one was either we quit, we stopped now, or we go all out knowing that we may not be able to raise. It was binary for me. Choose one. Right. I thought hard and I said, nah, we've come this far. Let's go. So I had to get multiple jobs. I had to do what I had to do just to keep the lights on. But don't get me wrong, we've recently raised. Okay. We're gonna be announcing it soon. We recently closed a $1 million raise. And it went breeze. It was good. Right. But the first 4.5, almost 5 years, it was, dude, you're by yourself. You have to bootstrap this thing. Right. So we did try. But that was when I learned all of what I know today about investments and investors, which nobody would tell you. Forget the paparazzi, forget the PR, forget all of that. If they are not, most people invest because that investment, nobody invests to make a loss.
Yeah.
They invest to make gains. And that gain must be in triple 10x return, not 1x return,
Yeah.
right? And most people will not invest in you will not invest in an early startup when the risk of failure is even much more than the risk of success. So
Yeah.
you have to figure out a way to grind it out to get to a significant successful status before investors will even start looking at you. Well, at least that was my story, and I'm not saying that's the only way to go about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. No, that's your truth. Like that's your experience,
That's
right?
my
Like,
experience. Yes.
yeah. And just they talk a lot about networking in Canada. Like, and do you think that played a role? Like, a function, new immigrant, new country, new social contexts, zero networks, building all that from scratch. Do you think that played a role in how that first year went with trying to raise? Like, if you look at, because I mean, we could also say now you spent 5 years building, and then you've raised now, but also there's also the fact that you've also spent 5 years understanding how the country works, understanding the how building networks and meeting people. And so now you said it was a breeze right now. So is it a function of like your social network? Like, just, and this is me just being the devil's advocate.
You are hitting on some nerves, bro. You are hitting on some nerves. Like, which version do you want? Because we're on this
Bros,
podcast.
no,
Which
no, no, no. I did no. So look, it's called Unfiltered for a reason, please.
okay. Thank you for the permission. If you want the real version,
Please, it's called Unfiltered for a reason, please. Just go at it.
we raised
With
$1 million.
all with respect, we talk. I like to
Oh
say we
no,
talk
for sure,
respectfully.
for
Yeah,
sure,
but it's
for
called
sure.
unfiltered for a reason. Yeah.
We raised $1 million. It didn't come from Canada.
Fuck. I was hoping you wouldn't say that. I was hoping you wouldn't
I
say
mean,
that.
let's be fair. I think about maybe 50K, if I'm gonna be honest, came from Canada, or less than 50K.
It came from the US.
Mostly from the US and from Africa. It didn't come from Canada, unfortunately. And the ones that came from Canada came mostly through my friends who knew me back home, not my new friends from here. Like, still within my ecosystem of blacks, not, yes. That is the raw truth. And Expedia has been through, at least, the one I can remember, 4 or 5 major, major brand accelerators. We went through the accelerator, went through that part, went through 21, we went through we went through, so I mentioned 5. Not one dime came from any of those. Don't get me wrong, not that they didn't support, but I'm talking about when it comes to putting the cash, putting your money where your mouth is, not a dime. Not a dime. Yep. So to answer your question, it wasn't about building social network here. It wasn't any of that. Maybe we need to do another podcast because I've actually been meaning to demystify fundraising for our ecosystem, for the blacks in Canada, particularly in Canada. Right? I've been meaning to put out maybe a newsletter or some write up, or because I've, and I'm saying this with all humility, I've learned a lot that helped us raise and apply that, and it worked. And I believe that many of our folks need to understand it so they stop chasing shadows. Sorry about that, but that's why I
No,
said
no, no, no. That's like that
nerves.
is
I
okay.
wasn't
It's not
sure.
a. I mean, I have a couple of episodes coming out that where
Yep,
someone literally says, "I'm leaving Canada because Canada doesn't have the resources to support me."
yep, yep, yep. It doesn't. There are some things like. If you notice, I'm hesitant. It's a
Yeah.
lot more, but I'm just like, no, dude, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Let's manage this one for now. Let's manage this one. But yeah, yeah, yeah. It came from outside Canada.
I don't know. Like, Just kind of asking this. What do you think it was going to be like though when you decided to start a business in Canada? Like, I mean, what do you think it was going to be like? I mean, considering all you've talked about and all you've experienced, what do you think it was going to be like when you were starting?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be easy. That's the honest truth. I thought it was going to be a walk in the park. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a first time founder. I have founded a few startups in the past. Some of them failed or closed, not failed in that sense. Some of them I sold off or handed over and I moved on. Right. I have forayed in that field. But when I was starting this, honestly thought it was gonna be a lot easier, right? For the simple fact that the general impression is that the Canadian space is a welcoming space where everybody has equal opportunities to thrive. That ain't true. Sorry, at this one I'm gonna be point blank. That is not true. But anyway, to answer your question, I thought it was gonna be easy, but then I realized, as I said a few months into it, that bro, this thing is not gonna be easy. Like, this is gonna be the singular, most Herculean task you've ever undertaken. You've got two options: quit now, stop, pack it up, go do your 9 to 5, whatever, right? Or determine that you are going to go all the way, no matter what comes your way. And I chose the latter. I said, I'm going to go all the way, no matter what comes my way. And that's it. That's the mindset I'm running. That's my whole mentality. That's the spirit in which I'm running Expedia. That's it. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I think
And
you're right.
honestly, I'm glad it's not easy,
Yeah,
because I wouldn't have been the person I am today. And I'm happy for who I am today.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because if that screw was in there, you would have walked back to your 9 to 5.
I would have walked back to 95. Like, seriously.
So again, it means that the screw being not being there is a good thing.
Oh, yes, it's a good thing. No, no, for sure, it's a good thing, right? And that's because every day I had a call earlier today, and the person called me. The person knows me. The person is a user on Expedia, and the person says, "I just want to say, I just want to acknowledge your this particular staff." She mentioned the person mentioned the name of the staff that is on your customer care team. They're doing amazing. I had a problem and they resolved it for me. I just wanted to let you know. Ha! That made my day. I was like, okay, right?
Was that
So
staff you though, or someone else?
you said what?
Was that staff they're talking about? Was it you? Was it the fake
No, no,
you?
no. It wasn't me. It
Oh,
was
okay.
not a real staff.
Okay, I wanted
So
to ask.
before it used to be me because they didn't know it was me. But now it's no longer me. I don't do that anymore, right? Somebody else does that. But
Okay, all
but
right.
but those are moments that make me realize that thank God I didn't give up.
Yeah.
Right? Because today, a two-man, like two crazy guys who decided to start this, today Expedia is almost a 40-man team
Oh wow.
and still growing. Right? So with all humility and all glory to God, we've been able to provide sustenance, income for 40 people. Like, I don't know how many Canadian startups can boast of that they have a manpower of 40 people, right? So 40 people today sort of are earning their livelihood because one dude that one not no day ahead decided to not quit. Maybe it's two nuts, but I think it's one.
We're rounding up right now, and I have one question, the two questions for you. Then we'll go to what I call the this or that entrepreneur edition. Is if I came to you today and say, "Hey, Kingsley, I'm about to start out and launch a business," like what's the one thing you would tell me?
What I've always told everybody else, literally, go for a surgery. In that surgery, Ask the doctors to replace your spinal cord with steel. Do that, then come out and start. I don't need to think about it because that's what I tell everybody. Mentally, I had to do that to myself. I'm sorry, that was crude. That was too. I'm sure you get the message.
I do. I do. I do. I do. And what's the one thing you'd have done differently in hindsight now? Like seeing this, if you look back at the past 6 years, what's the one thing you'd have done differently?
There's quite a lot I would have done differently, but the one major thing I would have done differently is, okay, I would have started making tremendous noise about Expedia from day one. And let me explain this. I suffered from imposter syndrome when we couldn't raise in the first year. Okay, I felt this product wasn't good enough because each time I spoke to investors, they would tell me, "Oh, add this new feature, get on this milestone, do this." So I felt like I needed to do something extra every time until I can begin talking about Expedia. So for the first 3-4 years, I wouldn't even tell my friends I'm running Expedia. I could not market Expedia with my own mouth. I was hiding behind the shadows because I felt like this product wasn't good enough. Today, I mean, people say, "Oh, guy, you're all over LinkedIn." I say, "I'm not even started. You push your wait." I have not even begun, right? And that is the one thing I would have changed. I would have started from day one to talk about what we were doing, and that's because nobody will talk about you if you don't talk about yourself first.
Yeah.
You are not being proud or arrogant. You don't need a perfect product because a perfect product does not exist. A perfect product does not exist. If it existed, there won't be an iPhone 16. We would have stopped at iPhone 3GS. Yes, nah. We would have remained on iPhone 3GS. We won't be on iPhone 16 today.
Oh,
Right?
God.
So a perfect product, but each time they release a brand new, latest, shining, they will package it and a perfect product does not exist. So that whole illusion, no, bro, start it off. Start talking about it. You are your first promoter. Promote it. That is
Yeah.
one thing I would have done different if I was starting from day one. If I was starting afresh. I mean, other than the spinal cord thing, but yeah, you get that.
Okay, let's do this or that, which is just where I ask you, I say two things and you pick one. So it's the this or that, the entrepreneur edition. So the first one is work from home or work from an office.
Home.
Bootstrapping or seeking investors. Ha ha ha.
Well, it's either here or there. If I get investors, fine. But yeah, if I don't, I'll bootstrap. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Networking events or online forums or online communities or networking events.
Networking event.
Ebooks or paper books. Podcast or reading.
But or reading.
Yeah, podcast or reading. Yeah, listen to a
I,
podcast or reading the book.
I read a lot, right? I read a lot. I read a lot. When I'm traveling, you'll always find me with at least a book or two. I read a lot. I try to read. Yeah.
Coffee or tea.
None.
Ewo.
Water.
That's the first.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. Debt financing or equity financing.
Equity.
Oh, interesting. I had someone say debt financing yesterday. Building from scratch or acquiring an existing business.
It's neither here nor there. If you can acquire for sure, that is a lot faster and easier. I don't believe in reinventing the wheel, but sometimes you have to start from scratch.
Hmm. This one is and the last one. Becoming the face of the brand or keeping a low profile. I feel
Yeah.
like I know the answer.
The face, the nose, the mouth, the ear, the eyes, everything of the brand. Oh
Oh
yeah. Oh
gosh.
yeah.
Oh
Now
gosh,
I'm
thank
proudly
you.
Expedier. I see it every like I am proudly Expedier. Nah, no time for no time. Oh, guy.
Oh god, thank you so much, Kingsley.
No
Thank you.
worries. No
You're a
worries.
madman though, but thank you.
I know, right?
I had to say that.
I know. You don't have to tell me. I told you that screw. Something is not. Something left. When I get to heaven, I'm gonna ask God, show me the knot. Show me the knot. Show me. Show me. Show me.
Oh
But
god,
yeah. But thank you for
you are
having me.
something. You're something. But yeah,
I'm
I mean,
grateful. Thank you.
all the best, man. Like so proud of your journey, to be
Thank
honest.
you.
And despite it all, I think it's very inspiring. Like I'm going to live here, think about my life, and see like, what can I do?
Okay.
How can I become like Kingsley?
I'm
In a way.
honored. Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.